Imagine having 3 men who can shake up the whole country with corruption. 3 men who can shake up the whole country with corruption. Hello, squatters. It was a good Friday today. I hope you had a very, very peaceful and beautiful day. Welcome back to Squatter Camp Podcast. I'm so grateful and I want to thank everybody for watching my content. I'm so happy because, people get to realize actually the impact that we have towards ordinary people. And it helps a lot to be impartial. It helps a lot to approach issues with sober minds, very calm, cool, so we can actually diagnose these problems and deeply look at actually what are the root causes of this problem. South Africa has no bigger problems as such. Some countries in Africa are facing very, very horrible and big problems that you don't even know where to start. South Africa is trapped in a corrupt cartel that is a well-organized gangsterism kind of operation by the ANC government. Imagine 3 men shaking up the whole country with corruption. We have Ace Magashule, who recently attended his asbestos case, 250 million. We have got Jacob Zuma, who used 250 million from the public purse, building his homestead there in Nkandla. We have Zwelim Kize on a 150 million PPE scandal. Those are some of the issues that when you are sitting down as an ordinary South African, especially a black South African, then you think about whether do we have a problem of apartheid that has impacted on our lives, or do we have a problem of corruption and people are actually marketing their corruption in the name of apartheid, in the name of Afrikaners, in the name of whatever. But honestly speaking, the issues that we are facing is because of the African National Congress. The ANC government has caused a huge damage to this country. We have got collapsing infrastructure, we've got collapsing state-owned entities, we've got municipalities also, being deeply in corrupt kind of arrangement. They pushing their cadre deployment system. They've got their triple BEE policies, which are only benefiting their friends, their families, their girlfriends, their side chicks, and everybody. Then, at the end of the day, we have to be quiet. We have to still hope that there's going to be a change. Honestly, as I'm sitting here, I don't feel like ANC will have any kind of impact towards black South Africans. We are going to continue to blame people for nothing. We are going to blame white people. Yet we have leaders who are corrupt, leaders who are stealing from the public purse, and there's no accountability, completely nothing. Watch this video of Ace Magashule trying to justify his own corrupt case, and he still feels he has got no case to answer after 250 million of taxpayers vanished.
Of course, because I've never taken 1 cent from state, I've never taken any cent from any business person or whatever. And you'll hear, once I get into the box, you'll definitely see and know that why this thing actually happened.
You seem rather excited.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I've been waiting for this moment. I'm very confident that there's no case here.
You were premier at the time. Is there any amount of accountability that you are taking, considering the fact that so much money has been spent, but the state says work has not been done?
Well, I think all premiers in South Africa and presidents must face the same charge, oversight. Let's see. And it's going to be an interesting case.
just the last one from me, Ntate Magashule. Your legal representative abandoned an application here today where you were intending to apply for the charges essentially to be dropped, citing delays by the NPA. They did eventually say they will not be moving ahead with that. How do you feel about that?
A lot of things are still going to unfold. Legal action is still going to unfold. And we are going to meet the lawyers now, and we're going to engage further.
In hindsight, as we are told, over 250 million rand has been spent. To your knowledge, was this money well spent?
How do I even know?
You were the premier.
Why was I supposed to know about something which happened in the department which I'm not in charge of?
But you were in charge of the entire province.
No. No. There is an executive authority and an accounting officer. The HOD and the MEC, the president and the director general. So I am responsible for the department of the premier. And
you've seen it, South Africa. Now, I want to bring this to your attention. Watching this clip, and as far as we all know, it's on the public news everywhere that these three people, these three politicians are actually chased by a very, very serious scandal, each of them, which cost this country more than $500 million. So you can imagine how much has the ANC stolen, for the past 30 years. Infrastructure is collapsing, dilapidated, there's no maintenance, they cannot build anything, they can't build nothing. They continue to be corrupt. We have a president, a sitting president, who was found with dollars and pounds hidden under his mattresses. By the way, we happen to know about this case because it was in the media. We still have got the CR17 bank statements sealed and all of that. And when you calculate these issues, you start to ask yourself, should he really be focusing on the apartheid after 30 years, after the damage that actually our politicians have caused? Me sitting here as a black person, I can openly say the ANC government has caused more pain to black people than the apartheid government. During the apartheid, we knew that this was a system. Now, the least that we expect for us to be punished, we continue to be punished in a civilized way, in a democratic way. And it's very painful because they are hitting our pockets, they are stealing from the public funds, and absolutely zero accountability. We have a government which doesn't care about its people. We have a government which is only caring about being corrupt, stealing money, and they only care about the votes more than the voters. So if you look at the ANC, as much as it is declining, they only care about improving on the polls through getting votes from the very same black people whom they continue to keep poor. Black people in squatter camps are suffering, South Africa. I wish I can walk around one day, take a video to show, because I believe some people have never been to the squatter camps. It's a dog-eat-dog situation. You die now, we're losing lives. We see people getting stabbed every day. We see people getting shot every day. We see the police outnumbered, overwhelmed. They can't resolve cases because there's too many cases versus a small number of police officers. I don't care if you are a highly trained investigator or what. In the squatter camps, you will never even manage to break one case because there are areas where even the police vehicle cannot drive in. in squatter camps. You can go to Tembisa, you can go to Soweto, you can go to Diepsloot, you can go to Oliven, anywhere. There are squatter camps. Where there are squatter camps. That is why I shot this other episode saying, if the government really wants to address the housing backlog, where people are still waiting for subsidy houses, they are packed like sardines. We go to Alexandra, the same thing, rats are running around the streets and all of that. We need to have a working government that will actually fulfill the people's wishes. Because at this stage, we have a government which is continuing to enrich themselves, our leaders. And when you raise these kind of issues, they rush into saying, yeah, but the apartheid government is the reason why black people are poor. That's not the case. We all know that all of us, we should work hard, black or white or Indian or Chinese. As long as you are a human being, you really have to work hard so that you can become successful. We cannot continue to blame other people for our own failures. 30 years, 3 decades in government, black people still continue to suffer. Black people still continue to be marginalized. Black people still continue to be faced by serious poverty, actually living below the poverty line. You are worried about your next meal. You can't be employed. You are a graduate. You are sitting there in the townships. You are stuck there. The government cannot even help you to create a business. They themselves, they're getting tenders. They themselves, with their friends, they continue to enrich themselves, to fill up their pockets. And as I'm sitting here now, I'm asking myself, who should we really blame? Should we really be blaming the apartheid after 30 years? Or it's our failure as black people? Because now the administration is in the ANC. The African National Congress promised to liberate people, promised to change people's lives. But 30 years later, there's absolutely zero progress. Even if you take, I don't know, you do the KPI to check actually how much they have achieved. They've achieved nothing. By the way, you can just check the infrastructure. Just check the railways, the trains and everything. Just look at our towns. Dilapidated structures, lack of maintenance, and all of that. This is a complete failure by us, because the ANC is us, black people. And the reason why it is there is because black people voted for it. And it is declining now, which is an indicator that black people are losing hope in this government. How do you feel as a leader when your very own people are disowning you? What are you going to do? What more excuses should we tolerate? The next coming elections, they will come, bring food parcels to the poor people and tell them that they will change their lives. You will see the Figidem Balulas driving Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons in a sewage system that is broken, in squatter camps. He will come in a convoy wearing an ANC t-shirt, wanting the same people that they have abandoned for 5 years to still vote for them. I don't care your MKP. MKP is as useless as the African National Congress, because the very same leader who is there was in charge at some point in time. He never really changed nothing. Jacob Zuma didn't change anything in this country. He was a leader. So when I'm sitting here, I'm asking myself, what is it that he couldn't change then that he will change when he becomes a president again? You cannot be 82 years and still hope that you want to change the country when you were a president at some point and you couldn't even change the country. There's a lack of political will. Remember, during Jacob Zuma's leadership, we had the Guptas here who were doing as they please, working together with his son, Duduzane Zuma. So I don't understand people who are chasing, politics in South Africa is so narrow to an extent that people are actually following identity politics. We identify ourselves with Zuma, then we follow Zuma. Whatever that he does, whether wrong or right, they don't care. They just follow Zuma. Because now it's fashionable for people, especially black people, to associate themselves with MK. It's fashionable. But exactly the reality, what is the reality in it, is that he has got nothing for them. He's actually pushing his own agendas, protecting himself from those cases of corruption and all of that. Every politician is doing exactly that. You follow Julius Malema. Julius Malema was in the ANC. He has got also his scandals, his corruption and everything. So all these politicians have got nothing for South Africa, honestly, especially these black parties, because we are also, looking at that I'm black, I should belong to MKP or EFF or ANC, identity politics, that I relate to this political party. I'm saying to South Africans, be careful when you follow these people, because you might be following people who don't care about you, who only wants to pursue their personal agendas, and from there they dump you. So how many times, South Africa, do you want these politicians to lie to you? Do you want these politicians to mislead you? I've spoken about the Orania issue, that we are actually pushing for a racial tension, which is something that we don't want. We want to resolve issues amicably in a very constructive way. Why can't we sit around the table and engage? And also the ANC government must accept its failures and be seen to be fixing their mistakes. Because actually, those are not the mistakes. That is just a rampant corruption which was perpetuated. It's a culture in the ANC. You must be corrupt so you can elevate and they can promote you up to becoming a minister. We have had Batabile Dlaminis collapsing the social grant. We have had so many people, politicians. We have had Ace Mahashules when he was still a premier in the Free State. Everything fell apart. The Guptas benefited billions, but poor South Africans who were supposed to get the service. Imagine the asbestos case. That roofing now is rotting and people are contracting chronic diseases because of that. But what happened to the money? 255 million. It's gone. No accountability, nothing. And someone comes here and say, I'm confident. Confident about what? About you stealing. About, there's absolutely no way you can run a province and you say you don't know who did what. Every tender, every tendering system, it passes through you. You approve and you know who are the contractors and everything. And there was a very serious problem, which is a culture in the ANC, by the way, of oversight. There was no supervision there. So people were doing as they pleased, but somehow there could never be a smoke without fire. Where there's a smoke, there's fire. I don't buy into Ace Mahashule's story, and I know all these politicians, especially from the ANC, are corrupt. They benefited. It's all about them and the votes, getting more votes. So they don't care about this country. When you are having brilliant ideas, they don't want you because they won't get a chance to steal. You are going to expose them. They want to continue to perpetuate their corruption. I don't want to hear black people blaming apartheid anymore. It's just irritating. I'm tired of looking back and blaming some 300 years ago. I blame 30 years now. I'm focusing on 30 years and going forward. That are they shaping up or should they ship out? Because it's either they rise up to the occasion that we are calling for them to correct this, or if they are not willing to correct this, then let's change the whole thing. We don't mind voting for any political party that will fix this country. The problem that I have with few political parties, yes, I can attest to that you look at the EFF and the approach and everything. Imagine EFF is in government, argument's sake, outright majority. There's going to be civil war, because everything that they do, they want to dominate the space. They want to push. They want to do everything through force. It's not acceptable. That's not democratic. So the EFF is kind of undemocratic. You look at the MKP. MKP is full of people who were corrupting the ANC, and when Cyril Ramaphosa came in, he kicked them out. They are bitter. They want to push Ramaphosa out so that they can come back and do what Ramaphosa is doing, continue to benefit themselves. So the solution here is to find a political party. I don't know which one by far. A political party which is going to prioritize the voters more than anything else. Not the votes, the voters. So they spend a lot of money campaigning and doing all of that. After they win the election, they do exactly the same. Food for thought for you to digest, squatters. I'm worried about the corruption in this country, the ANC failing black people, and the shifting of a blame. Always shifting a blame to apartheid. Always shifting a blame to Afrikaners. When are we going to wake up and smell the coffee and say, this is what we're supposed to do? Unlike saying, yeah, we are failing because of apartheid. We are failing because of Orania. We are failing because of Afrikaners. Those people, I believe by now, they have a right to exist in our country. They are part of us. We need to be tolerant. We need to be able to coexist. At the same time, black people stand a good chance of changing their lives. We need to do that in a mature way, not in a provocative way, not in such a way that it will violate other people's rights. They have a right to exist. They have a right to be protected. As much as we do, let us forget about apartheid. Let us think the democratic way now, that this is how we can do things to move forward. South Africa is a beautiful country, by the way. Someone told me that in Africa, South Africa is one of the best countries that you can stay, you stand better chances of becoming successful. I don't know how true is that, but one of the people that I always engage with from Africa told me that this is the best country. Opportunities are flowing here. So us as citizens, if we fail to utilize or to capitalize on that opportunity, other people will do that on our behalf. Thank you very much, squatters, and thank you to the new subscribers. I'm very much humbled, and I want to thank ordinary South Africans and everybody, even outside the country, who actually watches my channel, watches my content, and I think the engagement. I read most of the comments, and I'm so grateful. This is a platform where we should just engage fairly without judging one another, without raising race cards. Yeah, you are white, you are black, you are what. Let's forget about the color, forget about the race and everything. Let's take it from where we are now as South Africans. Where should we go? Thank you, squatters.